evening, Lizzie boys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about some interesting prototypes, interesting to me at least. These all come from MGA doll lines, as well as the account glitterrootsdollhair on Instagram. They post very interesting content, like lots of prototypes, concept art that I've never seen before. I don't know where they get it from. I just know that I think it's cool, and I wanted to talk about it, so today's the day. We're gonna do it. We've got some updates on the Bratz Slumber Party reproductions in this video, as well as some concept art for currently released things. So yeah, without further ado, let us dive right in. Also, this does technically count as one of my interesting world of prototypes video, because a lot of the things in this video do constitute as prototypes or under the umbrella, you know? So yeah, just keep that in mind. So as you guys may know by now, I absolutely adore the LOL Tweens line. It's probably one of my top 5 doll lines of all time. I really don't know where my love of these dolls came from, but I love it. I love this line. So we got to see some prototypes, some concept art from an early stage draft of the Tweens Alice in Wonderland themed line, which ended up being a masquerade themed line. It does seem like that aspect is still intact. The characters are all wearing little masquerade masks, but I'd say the most interesting thing here is that the characters all have different names. Now, you guys may not know this, because if you're not into the Tweens like I am, you probably don't remember their names, but this guy's final name ended up being Max Wonder, whereas here, his original name was supposed to be Curious Sir. To be honest, I kinda like the name Curious Sir more. I think it's pretty cute. This box is pretty different from the finalized look that they ended up having, because they all had a lot of accessories in their boxes, but he seems to be mostly the same. He still has his skirt, he still has like the vest, the leggings, the blonde hair, even the same hairstyle he ended up coming with. It's the other two where things get a bit more different. So this is Jackie Hop's original concept. She was called Miss Hops-a-Lot instead. I do like the way the tween naming convention changed to just being like, oh, they have a regular name, and then their last name is something relating to their design. So, you know, you got Max Wonder instead of Curious Sir, Jackie Hops instead of Miss Hops-a-Lot. Yeah, and this is just the way the photo was cropped. Unfortunately, we don't have, like, the full image like we do with Max, but I don't think we're missing much, to be honest. This looks almost exactly the same. So the main changes with Jackie here, other than her name, is that she used to have blue in her design. This was ultimately scrapped, and she features no blue anywhere on her final design. I would know. I have the doll, and I look at her quite frequently. I really like this collection. But yeah, I'm pretty glad that they changed it. I feel like the blue is a bit... She looks too similar to, what's her name? Candylicious when she's got the blue, so I do think it was a good change. And our final prototype is probably the most shocking. It's the prototype for Regina Hart. Her name used to be Royal Heartbreaker, and she used to be very pale. I am so used to the way that her final doll turned out, with her being a black character instead of a white character, so this is very jarring to look at. I definitely prefer the final design a lot. She just looks kind of off. Again, it's probably just because I'm so used to the final doll, but this just doesn't look right to me. And honestly, I don't know if I would have liked her as much if this was how the final product had looked. I'd say for sure this is the most drastic of the tween prototypes that we got to see today, the most drastic change. Oddly enough, the outfit is almost exactly the same. So aside from her skin tone, the biggest change would just be that with this doll, because nothing else really sticks out as being that different to me. I mean, I guess it could be like, she's got like little broken heart things in her hair to make her buns look like they're broken hearts, and on the final doll she doesn't have that, so I guess that's also a change. But I mean, this is also an artwork. How doable would that have been, like, with actual doll hair? But yeah, these are the tweens and the changes that were made with them. Overall, pretty interesting stuff, and again, very happy with the final design they went for with Regina. Also, Royal Heartbreaker just kind of sucks as a name. Like, I'm just not a big fan of that name. The only name I think was an improvement before was Curious Sir. Because, you know, something Alice in Wonderland says, she says Curious Sir and Curiouser. So Curious Sir is like a really good pun. But Max Wonder is fine too. Why not? From the same account, we also have this prototype, which I found to be very interesting. So this is the prototype for Kix Babe. It looks like her name was originally Kix, and similar to Regina, she used to feature a different skin tone. It looks like at first she was intended to be more tan, rather than being white like she ended up being. Honestly, it makes sense that she was supposed to be tan before. I always thought it was kind of odd how her hair color, like, almost so closely blends into her skin. Like, you can barely even see that she has baby hairs unless you're, like, looking at her very close up. They, like, very much blend into her skin tone. If she was supposed to have a darker skin tone before, then it makes sense, you know? It makes more sense why her hair was that color. That's just how my brain works, though. I just always thought, like, why did they pick such a peachy, fleshy toned hair color for her? And now it makes sense. It's because it was supposed to be on a darker skin tone to actually make it pop. I did also notice that her name was Kix instead of Kix Babe. Not sure why that change was made, but yeah, just another one for us to look at here. Another prototype from the same account is this pinker-haired Victoria. So it seems like originally Victoria was supposed to come with this hair color rather than the more blondish color that she ended up with on her final doll. And to be honest, while I do like this shade of pink, I do think the blonder color suited her better. Would it be cool to own one of these prototypes? Of course, it's a very interesting change and I like the way it looks. But also, I do much prefer, like, the actual color of hair that she was given. These two photos come from an account called rainbowhighsamplearchive, where it seems like somebody had two of her, as well as a sample of her outfit, which shows it in white instead of in pink. Again, pretty interesting. It's unknown if it's just like a test using test fabric, or if this was how her outfit was originally going to be, if that's what the color of it was originally going to be. Most likely it's a test fabric. I feel like her outfit was always going to be pink because Rainbow High characters have to wear clothing that is the same color as their hair. That's the law. That's the rule. But yeah, even the doll's screening is different. You can see the pink-haired prototype alongside her more blondish colored final product, and her makeup is different. The freckles look much more defined, I would say. Probably because this was like a small batch sample, so it was easier to like make things look more detailed. But yeah, overall it's a pretty interesting difference. Between the two, I think I prefer the final product. Again, I just prefer the more natural hair color because it makes her unique amongst all the Rainbow High dolls with like unnatural colored hair, you know? It just like makes her stand out. Another known of Rainbow High prototype for a while was the original bodies for the Slumber Party dolls. Originally, they were supposed to have full articulation, just like Jet. They were going to have a chest joint as well as ankle joints. For some reason, this ended up being cut somewhere into production, which is super unfortunate. Considering these dolls were $50 each when they came out, I think it would have helped people justify the price a bit more, because while a lot of people did buy these dolls, myself included, a lot of people were also turned off by them just because of how expensive they were. They came with a lot of stuff, but you gotta admit, $50 was kind of a lot. Especially back then. I mean, especially now. I'd say modern day inflation is only getting worse. It's so weird to think these dolls came out like 3 or 4 years ago. How long has it been? I don't remember. But yeah, real quick, can I just like say it's insane how much Brianna sells for? Like, if you look her up on Mercari or eBay, her prices, especially compared to Robin and Marissa, who haven't gone up that much. They only go for like, I want to say $30 at the absolute most, secondhand. Meanwhile, Brianna blows them both out of the water. She sells for like, I've seen people sell her for $70, just nude with none of her stuff. It's crazy. I don't understand why she costs so much. And finally, we have another Rainbow High prototype from the Rainbow High Sample Archive account. This is a packaging sample of Amaya. I have never seen a Rainbow High packaging sample before. It makes sense that they make them, but I feel like way more Mattel packaging samples have been leaked online compared to very few Rainbow High factory packaging samples like this. Basically, what a packaging sample is that it's a tester of how the packaging is going to look. They cut out the pattern using a random, like, cardboard instead of the finalized cardboard that the box is going to use, and then they just test the way that it would look to make sure they like the shape of it. And yeah, I probably explained that really poorly, but hopefully you understand the general gist of it. Basically, one of Amaya was found, and I think it's interesting. I'd like to see more of these in the future. While I don't think Rainbow High has the most interesting packaging, to be honest, I think Rainbow High packaging was kind of bland. I do still like prototypes like this, and I think they're cool to see. Sometimes, when you get to see one of these, the doll inside is also a, like a test shot sample, using different fabrics, different face, sometimes even, like, different hair, you know? No, they'll have the right hair, but they'll have, like, a different face, or sometimes even no face, because there are faceless Monster High test shot samples. I even own one. But yeah, I think it'd be cool to see something like that for Rainbow High. This one features a finished Amaya doll. She doesn't look like a sample to me, but even the account owner said that they were unsure, so we don't know for sure if the doll inside the box is a sample or not. She might just be the final product. Totally forgot to include this in the Victoria section, but there was another Victoria head that was found, alongside sample Mara and Priscilla heads. Now, Priscilla and Mara look exactly the same, but I just wanted to include this because it's another Victoria head. I just think it's interesting how many of this prototype are out there. It seems to be at least 3, maybe 4. Or who knows, maybe this head is this head. You know, these might be the same head. No, the lips are different actually. This one has, like, darker lips than this one does. And the final thing I want to cover in this video, the Bratz Slumber Party reproductions. So here we've got Jade. Once again, none of these pieces are hers. Why did I say once again? That was weird. I don't know what I'm talking about. None of these pieces belong to her, including the shoes. The actual doll doesn't wear these things, but this is what her face and body will look like. As for Chloe, who has a filter over her, but we can still see what we need to, so not a big deal. You know, her hair always throws me off because, like, which wave are they reproducing? Why are my dogs barking? Anyway, which wave are they reproducing here? Because I always thought that Chloe with the darker hair was from wave 2. And I always thought that this makeup for Jade was from wave 2. Because there's 2 different waves of Slumber Party. Let me show you. Okay, so this is wave 1, which seems to be what they're replicating here, because that's what Jade's makeup looks like, and that's how dark Chloe's hair is. I, for some reason, thought that this was wave 1. I don't know why I thought that. This is wave 2 of Slumber Party. They had different faces, but essentially came with all the same pieces. Most of them had different faces. Megan's was exactly the same. They did not care to give Megan a different face. Everybody else got a different face. Or different, like, colors for their makeup at the very least. Overall, their screenings are the same, they just have different makeup. But yeah, this is the wave 1 reproductions. I don't know why I thought this Chloe was wave 2. I guess I'm so used to seeing the actual wave 2 Chloe that I forgot what the wave 1 looked like. That or I'm just a dumbass. To be honest, I don't actually know. So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. This video has run pretty long, to be honest. I feel like it's run pretty long. Maybe it's not actually that long, I don't know. As for price information for the Bratz Slumber Party dolls, I do just want to throw in that I saw somewhere that in Canadian dollars, these are going to be about 55 Canadian dollars. It was either 55 or 50. All I know is that when I translated it to USD, it came up like 40. So there's a chance that these dolls are going to cost a bit more than usual, but we won't know for sure until the listings pop up. So please don't take what I'm saying as a fact. So, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see me cover some more prototypes, feel free to send me any that you don't think you've seen me talk about, and I will gladly cover them if I haven't talked about them before. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!